This is the 12 match races of Christmas, where us, the Triple Clowns, present to you some dream matchups. We are constantly working on original and I think groundbreaking horse racing shows that are informative and also, at the end of the day, fun, guys. So hit that like, subscribe button, and that notification bell. Also, follow us on Twitter at Clowns Triple and all other social media platforms, because we are going to bring you new shows. That's right, new shows that include horse racing conspiracies and odd stories, handicapping 101. We're going to do live picks from the track, and of course, our show where we interview great guests and we do some horse racing skits that are a good time. Support us so we can keep going, trailblazing in the horse racing industry. From AJ Ryder, Sarah Marie, and of course, myself, G. Randall Johnson. Happy holidays, and let's get it on with the 12 match races of Christmas. All right, guys, so this is it. And we have on to argue, I would say, or give a case about, I don't know, the legal term. Present his case for Justify versus American Pharaoh. And in the blue corner, hailing from Lexington, Kentucky, with an impressive record of 11 starts, 9 wins, 1 second. His major wins include the Del Mar Futurity Front Runner Stakes, Rebel Stakes, Arkansas Derby, Haskell Invitational, and then the first horse to complete the Grand Slam, which is the Kentucky Derby, Preakness Stakes, Belmont Stakes, and the Breeders' Cup Classic. It is the one, the only American Pharaoh. And in the red corner, hailing from Lexington, Kentucky, with an unbeaten record of 6 starts, 6 wins. He is a Santa Anita Derby winner, also a Triple Crown winner. He is your 2018 Eclipse Award-winning American Champion 3-Year-Old of the Year, Justify. Mile and a quarter on the dirt, obviously, with these horses. That just only makes sense. Their best day, they're going against each other. And the one and only is going to argue their case, BlackJack Fletcher. BlackJack, thank you for being on. We missed you. Beautiful backdrop there. Welcome, BlackJack.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's always fun to be with you guys. Yeah, I'm sitting out here in sunny Florida. It's a beautiful day, so we'll just assume the weather is like this when these horses are running.
Exactly.
Absolutely, exactly. No wind, no anything. Perfect day, just like it is with BlackJack sitting by the pool right now, which is fantastic. And always, like I said, always good to see you, BlackJack. We actually get to see you finally. We usually get the picture. You look just like the picture, which is always good. So, all right. So let's get into it. And BlackJack, you know the rules. And we're going to start by giving everybody else out there that doesn't know the rules, the rules.
All right. Well, our contest consists of 3 rounds. The first round, each contestant in our show will have an opportunity to present their opening argument. Each opening argument will be limited to 1 minute only. The second round is a Q&A with the judges. Each judges will get an opportunity to ask each contestant as many questions about each horse as they'd like. There is no time limit on this round. The final round consists of a free-for-all battle royale lasting 1 minute 30 seconds, where each contestant goes back and forth presenting their argument, and well, we'll just see what happens then. And at the end of the 3 rounds, the remaining 2 judges will then confer and decide our winner.
All right, BlackJack, those are the rules. And the one big thing we give you is, and we don't know this, and I'm going to stress this every time, we don't know who he's going to pick. We truly don't. So we all have to be prepared. He gets to pick one of the 3 clowns to go against. The other 2 are going to be the judges. And if it comes to a tie, I guess we go to whatever. But it's all fun here.
Go to the comments.
Flip a coin.
There's no rules, but just don't be mean to each other personally. Unless
that was never a rule.
Yeah.
No. It's only you. That's only for AJ towards the guests. Really. That's it. The guests can be rude to us all they want. And when I say us, I mean AJ. So let's go right on to it. BlackJack, who's your pick, first of all, to go against?
All right. First, I can't pick Sarah because from my previous life as a trial lawyer, I generally prefer to have women on the jury. I think that they're more sound in their judgment. So I can't pick her. I need her deciding this. And now it becomes between you and AJ, Randy. And, again, when I was trying cases, sometimes you'd get a case that maybe you didn't really believe in, but you did the best you could with what you had. I want to go against someone who really believes in what they're going to argue today, and that's why it's you, Randy.
Oh, first time Randy gets picked. All right, okay. I love it, and we have to go from that because we know that BlackJack was a lawyer.
Yes, we do.
And down in Florida, I believe, and that's why he liked "'Tis the Law" because if he was a horse, he'd be "'Tis the Law." Here. Oh. Good one.
Oh my God,
right
bless
there.
your heart.
Right off the head right there. That was a good one. Anyway, all right. So you don't want to go against this now, BlackJack. Do you see how quick that was? All right. So
how quick that was. You've been thinking about that for months since the last time you was here.
I did not think. I just did. You love to say that. All right. So, okay, BlackJack, I appreciate that. I don't know if that was a great decision.
All right.
You,
yeah, I'm excited for this one. AJ, you got the timer?
I do.
Wait, first, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first, BlackJack?
I will always rather go second.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the lawyer in him, he understands.
I love this. This is fantastic.
All right.
AJ, it's up to you now.
All right. Randy, justify. Your time begins now.
Okay, justify. Let's just say right off the bat, what did he do wrong? All right, we have the Santa Anita Derby. Okay, 6-0. Let's just put it that way. Santa Anita Derby. He ran in the Kentucky Derby with horses like Good Magic, Mendelssohn, Audible, Magna Moon, Noble Indy, Vino Rosso. I'll get back to him in a minute, BlackJack. Frenzy Fire, Bolt d'Oro. He wins that and was hurt in the race, by the way. I don't know if anybody knows that. Heel bruise. Comes back, wins the Preakness, and I know what you're going to say, low buyer's figure. That's fine. It was in the fog. It was in the fog. He won in the fog, and that's a great win. Goes to the Belmont, wins over Gronkowski and Vino Rosso. And I'm bringing that up again because Vino Rosso came back and won the Breeders' Cup Classic. And I'm pretty sure American Pharaoh didn't run against anybody. Well, I guess he did, but won the Breeders' Cup Classic. Vino Rosso comes back and wins that. I'm going to go with the fact of he went against better horses. And if he wasn't injured, he would have won the Grand Slam. American Pharaoh won the Grand Slam against, hold your breath now, Tonalist. Best win was the Met Mile. Keen Ice, Frosted, Honor Code. Come on.
Time.
Oh.
Woo! You're on fire there.
All right.
You got it.
I let you actually finish out your little argument because you were like, I don't think you were going to take a breath. So as soon as you had the slightest break in what you were saying,
I had to cut him off at some point because he was going to pass out.
All right. That's where I'm at, Justify.
Thank you, Randy. All right. BlackJack, American Pharaoh. Your time begins now.
So, Randy, just to be clear, your strongest argument for Justify is that a horse he beat went on to win a Breeders' Cup Classic a few years later. That's all well and good, but American Pharaoh actually won the Breeders' Cup Classic because he actually ran in it. You talk about their rivals. Your top rival here is Vino Rosso, and there's no question about that. And Vino Rosso was a real hit-or-miss horse. Sometimes he came and showed up, sometimes he didn't. Bolt d'Oro, that's really, you're going to throw that name out there. Good Magic, ran a nice Haskell. Audible, didn't win anything. American Pharaoh ran against Dortmund, Frosted, Keen Ice. Those were solid horses in those races. Additionally, American Pharaoh has the faster time in the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont over Justify, if you want to compare those head-to-head. Also, look at the amount of lengths they won those races by. American Pharaoh won the Triple Crown races by a combined 13.5 lengths, compared to 3.75 for Justify in the same races. Also, look at the fact that this horse's career was an amazing campaign in that season compared to a career of only 112 days. So you ask, what did Justify do wrong? The answer is nothing. He's just not American Pharaoh.
Thank you, BlackJack.
Oh, mic drop, done.
Yep, all right.
Woo.
Hit all those
That was a
points
great statement.
Hit all those points I had to try to avoid. All right.
This is great.
I loved that.
Go.
You're wrong. Nothing. He's just not American Pharaoh.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Introduce the
Perfect way
second
to end
round.
it. All right, the second round, it's an open-ended time round, but it's where AJ and I get to question both of you and hear what you got to say in defense of your horse. AJ, you wouldn't want to start us off with your first question?
Sure. This is going to go to both of you. And this is a question I think I asked the last time I was a judge. In a match race between the two of them, a pace scenario in a match race obviously is can be difficult, but how does it have to work out for your horse to beat the other one? And I'll start with Randy.
Well, that's a tough one. That's a good
It's not
question.
tough. Well, one gear. Your horse has one gear, Randy. He's got to go to the front, and he's got to go.
Best day.
Blackjack, this is Randy's time to talk. Blackjack, you'll get your opportunity.
Best day. It is your Blackjack did say it. Justify does need to go to the lead, and he does like the lone speed type of thing. I get it. So he's got to beat him to the turn. You said match race at this point. At the time, we're talking best day. I think he could get loose on the lead. I don't think it's like a speed meltdown, if that's what you're saying. If it's an actual race or a match race, AJ, are you saying like there's other?
Well, this whole thing is a match race between.
So a match race, they're going to burn to the turn, and who can last the longest. And I think Justify was a tougher horse. At the end of the day, I think he showed more guts. Yes. He mentioned the fact that he won by more, American Pharaoh won by more lengths. I just think that Justify was gutsier. He didn't want to win by a lot of lengths. I don't know if I could say that with a straight face, by the way, but that's why. He liked the race. So I think he's tougher. I think they go around the turn around the same time. I think Justify is going to grab the lead, and I think he's going to pull it out at the end. So I think pace scenario-wise, they're both burning the whole time in a match race. I think they're both coming out and burning. American Pharaoh was a small glider. We all know that. Like, went out to the front and never looked back as well. So that's a tough pace scenario thing.
All right.
Saying the same thing over and over again, I know.
I'm going to keep this brief because it's really, really simple. Justify has to go to the front. The horse has one gear and one gear only. American Pharaoh is going to sit off his hip until they get in the stretch, and then he's going to pass him. Because you can talk about gutsy all you want. The bottom line is American Pharaoh can win this race multiple ways, right? He's one going to the front. He's one sitting back. He can adjust to what Justify wants to do. Justify can't do the opposite. That's the bottom line. He's got to go, so he's going to go.
All right.
Thank you,
I'll
Blackjack.
wait till we talk. All right.
All right.
Next
Wow.
question.
Next question. So I'm gonna go back to the talking Kentucky Derby times. Now, American Pharaoh was 2:03:02 on a fast track. Justify was 2:04:20 on a sloppy track. Do you think, for Justify, if this track was not sloppy, that his time would be closer or faster?
Are you
than
asking
American
me?
Pharaoh? We'll start with you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, a sloppy track's going to be a little slower. And I was
Obviously,
going to
that's
mention that was a fast track that day. And I'm not big on times because I can't be right now. And I'm not big on the times with that. So, yes, I think, of course. I mean, I don't know what the adjustment on that would be. And I think that's always a weird question, how fast tracks are that day. I would look at the speed figures of that day. I mean, you'd have to break it down, but I don't think 204 is that bad in the slop. And like I said before, Justify just does what he has to do. And he only has one gear because he's only had two. Just wanted to add that.
That was cute. Do you notice how the general trend of Randy's arguments are making excuses for Justify? When I brought up the Preakness time, he said, well, that was in the fog. Well, he would have run faster at Churchill on a fast track. He would have done all these things if only he raced longer, if only he had a dry track, if only there wasn't fog. Well, guess what? That's life. Everyone has to deal with those things. And those are the times that he put up. That's what you have to live with, is those times. And you're making excuses for them. I don't have to make excuses for my guy. He's good.
All right.
This seems to be trending one way.
I know.
Randy, I do think, and I'll even throw you a little bit of a bone here. If you look at the three Triple Crown races, out of those three, and only those three, Equibase does give Justify a 1 point advantage in his highest speed figure on those, out of those three races, in those three races alone. The San Antonio Derby and then, of course, the Breeders' Cup was a lot different for each one of those. Shortened career is, I don't even know how I want to phrase this. Had Justify ran as a 2-year-old, does that help your argument at all, or does it hinder him here more?
Well, I think something about Justify is, and it's the magic of the, I believe it's, and BlackJack might want to help me out here. I think it's the Curse of the Apollo or something
Curse
like
of
that.
Apollo. Yeah.
Curse of Apollo is if you didn't win as a 2-year-old. I think it doesn't hurt him. And I know BlackJack's going to come at me with it protected him more. I think he was obviously peaking at the right time. I mean, we're not talking about a horse that, could he be much better than he was when he won the Classic at 4 years old or whatever? We don't even know that with American Pharaoh, the next year. I would say as him not racing as a 2-year-old, I don't think that hurt him just because of the statistically wise. I don't think that's an advantage to him. I just think at the end of the day, he ran those buyers figures and everything like that. It's who you're running against. And my argument is going to be he ran against a bigger, better field that year. And he did what he had to do. I'm going to keep saying
Bigger?
Well, not a bigger field. I'm
Field
sorry. A bigger, better. I mean, like bigger, better. Like they're better and bigger, like the horses he ran against. Yes. That's what I'll say to that.
All right.
I mean, I think we can be honest here and both admit that neither one of these horses ran against world beaters in their respective 3-year-old fields. So arguing which one is stronger is really kind of getting down to semantics. And again, Randy, I'm not here to say that Justify is a lackluster Triple Crown champion. He's not. And I don't know that not running as a 2-year-old was to protect him. The point is that this is like comparing – it's like comparing Gale Sayers to Emmitt Smith, right? Like one was really, really good for a very short time, and one was really, really good for a much longer time. So it's hard to put Justify in the class of American Pharaoh because all we're doing is speculating. There's a ton of speculation around him for any number of reasons, and that's why I think this is really a very easy decision.
All right. No, this is good. This is good. Let's go into it because that was pretty much what we're going to do right now. Round 3. All right. We're going to just plead our cases.
Yep.
I'm going to start because me.
You got to wait for Alex to make the call, by the way.
Sorry. Go ahead,
So,
Alex.
All right. So, minute 30, I might give you more just because I want to hear maybe BlackJack bury you a little bit more. So,
more, yeah.
Your time starts now.
I'll just start. What I just said, I'm gonna go with. I mean, these horses in a match race, I think it would be very, very close. I don't think one would bury the other. I think Justify proved I just think he was a tougher horse, and we didn't see what he could do. And I'm happy of the fact, and I'm gonna bring this up before BlackJack does, because I don't think he will. Is the whole drug thing, which was proven by the California courts that wasn't whatever and blah, 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 blah. I think he was that good. I think if he went into the Classic, he would have won that year, the Classic. And then this would be a different conversation, I believe, because all we're going by is times at this point. But I'm going to say his times are different because of the mud. And because of that, I know it's an excuse, but it's true. It was the mud.
All right.
BlackJack's texting us right now that he hates us.
I'm literally just taking notes here. Randy, you just said all we're going on is times, and he ran in the mud. Well, what was the Preakness for American Pharaoh?
It was over his time. Yeah.
It was muddy. It was raining that day. Watch the video. It's raining. So, I mean, the excuses, and this is the problem with people who back Justify in this position. You said in that closing that you just made probably 3 times the word would have. That's what you said. He would have done this. He would have done that. Well, you know what American Pharaoh did? He won the Triple Crown and posted 2 times better than Justify in the Derby and the Belmont. He won 8 Grade 1 stakes in a span of 13 months, including the Breeders' Cup Classic. This is a horse that didn't shy away from challenges.
What happened in the Travers? What happened in the Travers?
Perfect example. This is a horse that they entered in after winning a Triple Crown, the first one in 34 years. They run into Haskell. He has a big win. They don't shy away from Saratoga. They don't shy away from the Travers. They put him in there. He ran a great race. He got beat. Fair and square, he got beat, but he still showed up. They weren't concerned that he might lose that race. You say Justify would have won if they entered him. Well, they didn't enter him. They did turn around and wheel American Pharaoh back in the Breeders' Cup Classic. At
He was hurt.
And you know what? He won. Bottom line, he won. He showed up and he won. That's what the horse did. He's the first Triple Crown winner in a generation with 2 times better than Justify. I would argue better rivals, and 8 Grade 1 wins in the span of 13 months, combined with the fact that he's more versatile and he had a considerably larger margin of victory.
What is that versatility?
There is no doubt that if these 2 horses went head to head, American Pharaoh emerges as the victor.
Is that versatility because of necessity? Or, I mean, you can't knock a horse because he goes to the lead all the time.
The purpose doesn't really matter. American Pharaoh is versatile and Justify is not.
Well, you don't know he's not until he's put in that spot.
Well, that's true. And if he would have raced longer, maybe we would have seen that. But he had a career of 112 days.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
All right, AJ. Well, this is a very tough deliberation because we're talking about a Triple Crown winner and a Grand Slam winner. So, what are you thinking here? What points did Randy have that were pretty compelling, I guess, for you?
So Randy's best points, and I think BlackJack kind of debunked them, was I do agree. I think had Justify run in that Breeders' Cup, he probably would have won that because it was like the 5th or 4th slowest Breeders' Cup Classic of all time. However, the big word is there, would have. And I think BlackJack made that abundantly clear. Resume-wise, I just think, looking at what a horse has done after the Triple Crown, during the Triple Crown, and then saying the argument that he was tougher, which might have been true because he did run that Kentucky Derby hurt. But again, this is all speculation on what he could have done and not what he did. So, yeah. I BlackJack to me was kind of won all 3 rounds, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to agree with.
I'd like to say it's closer than it is, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than it was going into this. I do agree with BlackJack on kind of Justify is basically a one-trick pony. But Justify didn't finish out his 3-year-old career. I mean, they sold his breeding rights for $60 million, plus there was an additional $25 million bonus if he won the Triple Crown. So of course, after the Breeders' Cup, they're going to be like, yeah, I'm not chancing this. Let's just breed this horse and be done with it. But at the end of the day, like I kind of started this, you're talking about a Grand Slam winner who only lost 2 races, and really only one of those wasn't on the board. Other than that, all of his races were on the board. He had 11 starts, 9 wins, and 1 second. And a tough career that he had. I mean, in the Preakness, he was hand-rode, so.
I don't know, are we just kind of dragging out this deliberation, or can we
I think we
say
are.
that BlackJack won?
Just go and say it. Just say it.
So as much as Randy had some really compelling arguments here for Justify, which I do agree it was a very tough horse.
No, Felix is going my way.
No.
I feel like maybe AJ, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's safe to say the winner of this debate is American Pharaoh.
I will take that. And my man, BlackJack, and never argue with a lawyer ever. Number 1 and number 2, that was a great job.
That was awesome.
And it was awesome the fact that he was actually lawyering it and taking notes while I'm talking.
Yeah.
You know that lawyers
It
was like
kind of just
second
kicked
to,
in. It really
to the witness.
just kicked in.
Yeah, you did that.
I haven't tried a case in probably, 4.5 years, and it just kind of kicks right back in.
It's like riding a bicycle.
So now we know when we do this again and we have the VIX on, and the Todd's on, and we have some good people
Good
on.
luck.
We're gonna
We're
bring in BlackJack.
no, we're
to
bringing
represent
BlackJack
us.
in as our guy.
I'll be your ringer anytime you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, we
He's our
appreciate that,
ringer.
BlackJack, because I
I'll
can't do
get
it.
you on speed dial.
But yes, and I, listen, at the end of the day, that's what it is. I thought, everybody wants that justify American Pharaoh argument, and that's why we did it. I thought justify Barbaro was a better one, but we went a whole different route because that's kind of the same career in a sense, obviously.
Yeah.
What's happened, but yeah, almost the same exact 6-0.
Yeah. Well,
Without, but everybody wants that American Pharaoh justify argument. I feel like BlackJack's done this one before with people.
and I think he's buried everyone that tried to argue him. So this was a great matchup. BlackJack, as always, it is such a pleasure to have you back on our show and bury Randy. We always enjoy that.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine, especially today.
And a big shout out to BlackJack. Keep an eye out for him on his Twitter and see what he's up to.
BlackJack, tell everybody where you're at, how they can follow you.
At BlackJack Burner on Twitter, at BlackJack Fletcher on Instagram. Got a lot of stuff that working on right now. Doing some work with Woodbine, Stable Duel, and going to have some big news coming soon, so stay tuned.
Very excited.
All right, we're excited for that. Always a pleasure to have BlackJack on. Always good to see him. Bit jealous that he's with those palm trees in the background and everything.
A lot of bit jealous.
Yeah, AJ's more jealous.
I know.
because
Yeah,
Say you guys are in Los Angeles. It's not like it's that bad for you.
I know. All right. But good luck to everybody, and let us know down in the comments who your thoughts on this race.
Yeah, tell us all how BlackJack totally proves his point. And if you were a Justify fan and he proved you an American Pharaoh fan now, then that's what should probably happen.
And
All right, guys. See
Good
you
luck.
later.
Triple Clowns is a production of the team at Big Umbrella. Rate and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts. Send us your questions at tripleclowns@gmail.com and you may be featured on a future episode. Follow us on social media at ClownsTriple on Twitter and Instagram, and follow me, AJ Ryder, at Troy McClain WWE on Twitter. Like and subscribe to our show on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. All right, guys, for AJ Ryder, I'm out of here. See you later, everybody.